Alright, let's settle this once and for all. What's the real story with the Vikings? If you're picturing giant, wild dudes in horned helmets raiding every village in sight, you're not alone. That's basically how movies and cartoons have shown Vikings for decades, but surprise, almost everything you think you know about Vikings is, well, totally wrong. First, let's talk about those famous horned helmets. Here's the reality. No actual Viking helmet with horns has ever been found. Zero. It was cooked up in the 1800s for a Wagner opera. Real Vikings wore sturdy, practical helmets. No horns, no fancy decorations, just solid protection for battle. Now, about that whole Vikings were dirty savages myth. It's actually the opposite. Archaeologists have uncovered Viking combs, tweezers, even ear cleaners. They bathed regularly, sometimes once a week, which for the early Middle Ages was basically spa-level hygiene. Vikings were so fresh and clean that English monks used to complain about how Vikings would steal their women just by being tidier. And yes, Vikings did go on raids, but that was only a small slice of their lives. Most Vikings were farmers, traders, explorers. They grew crops, raised animals, and built thriving communities. They traded everything from furs to spices, and their trade routes stretched from North America to the Middle East, way before Marco Polo was even a thought. Imagine Viking merchants haggling in Baghdad bazaars, or farming peacefully in the rolling hills of Scandinavia. That's just as much Viking history as the occasional raid or battle. Their ships weren't just for war. They were like the first international delivery service, making connections across continents. So why does the myth stick around? Because bloodthirsty barbarians with horned helmets make for a way cooler Halloween costume than efficient, well-groomed traders. But the truth? Vikings were complex, clever, and honestly, kind of ahead of their time. So next time someone brings up Vikings, you'll know. Forget the horns, ditch the dirt, remember the explorers, remember the farmers, remember the savvy traders who changed the world. And that's the real Viking story. No myth, just facts. If you learned something new today, hit that like button and subscribe for more myth-busting deep dives. See you next time.